4,
We're live.
2, 1, and we're live on the day of the Quarterback Center Exchange. This isn't Sports Center. This is the Quarterback Center. We're much better. Thank you all for joining us. That's AJ Zalewski right there. I'm Andy Geierman. We got such an exciting show for you today. You know why? Because I don't know what we're talking about. I forgot to write up a script today, so we're just going to kind of freeball today's episode, see what we want to talk about.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to tell people that.
It's all good. Obviously, one thing that we're going to start off with is we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. What a great game that was. All right, let me tell you.
Boy, let me tell you what.
Nothing says defense wins championships more than 1,100 offensive yards.
You're dang right. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you quarterbacks in center, you know, I prefer to see the defense every once in a while, but
they played the whole year with defense. It's fine.
Okay. What was the turning point in the game? What was the biggest moment of that game?
The biggest moment of that game was when the Eagles scored more points than the Patriots. There was 0 seconds left on the clock. That was the turning point of that game.
Gotcha.
The other turning point was when they didn't play Malcolm Butler, the Patriots. That was the other turning point of that game. So
yeah, we talk about that because that was piss poor decision. You don't really see that. You don't really say that about Bill Belichick often, but I mean, maybe he broke some team rule. We don't know who's winning or who's lying. That was a poor decision to not play Malcolm Butler. I mean, go ahead and sneeze that.
If Malcolm Butler had played that game, I think the Patriots would have won.
Bigger play to you, was it the Philly special or was it the Brandon Graham strip sack?
The Brandon Graham strip sack, obviously, definitely.
I would agree with that. That was a big moment.
That killed so many.
So many things I loved about the Philly special, though. The Philly. That I think all around was just a better play. Or it was just a great play because they showed up Tom Brady. They're like, no, this is how a quarterback catches a football.
To be fair, that pass that was thrown by Danny Amendola wasn't very good to Tom Brady.
It was not, but a professional quarterback should catch everything.
He's 40 years old. He's never caught a pass in his entire life. Give me a break.
All in all, it was a good game.
Yeah,
we say this every year, but it's probably one of the best Super Bowls we've seen in a while. Yada yada yada. Best Super Bowl ever.
I don't know. There's so many key Super Bowl games that happened, especially with the Patriots over the last 10 years. You can talk about the 2 games against the Giants. From an offensive perspective, it's the best Super Bowl ever, but from an overall perspective, I mean, it's up there, but I don't know if it's the best ever. I guess it depends on who you're a fan of.
Yeah, offensive perspective, it was a really good Super Bowl, best ever offensive perspective. Defense made those big plays. Brandon Graham, you know, all in all, I would say it was the best Super Bowl ever. Didn't like Justin Timberlake, so it fell down to about 10th or 11th for me. Last year was still the best Super Bowl ever. That was best comeback, best all that stuff.
Yeah, it was. It was a good Super Bowl for sure.
Oh, yeah. Where do these teams go forward? Where do the Eagles go forward? Where do the Patriots go forward?
The Eagles go get some additional help at linebacker and defensive back and possibly another wide receiver, and the Patriots got a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do? Is that because they're losing a defensive coordinator?
No, it's because their defense is terrible. Kyle Van Noy's their best linebacker right now, and he sucks. He got traded from the Lions for like an 8th-round pick. He's the worst thing I've ever seen since sliced bread. They have nobody on defense that's legitimate. Every time they get a good player, they just trade him away the year before his contract year. So,
well, that was kind of the thing about Matt Patricia that I really liked. He made something out of a scrubby defense. I mean, they were never the greatest defense in the world, but
yeah, but you're giving too much credit. You're giving too much credit to Matt Patricia because Bill Belichick is a defensive-minded coach first, and he's a defensive genius. So.
Agreed on that. That's for sure. Speaking of Matt Patricia, he was introduced today in Detroit. Press conference was happening, and he is now the head coach of the Detroit Lions. Thoughts on that, Meyer?
I mean, yeah, it's okay, I guess.
Did you watch any of the press conference?
Nope.
Well, then you didn't know this. He did announce during the press conference he is retaining offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter.
Which is, well, I knew that before. That's the word. It wasn't even his decision. That was management's decision and the owner's decision to keep Jim Bob Cooter, who sucks. I mean,
Well,
this
now,
guy, Jim Bob Cooter, he runs the ball on 1st and 2nd down, and then it's 3rd and 8, and he's throwing the ball with Matt Stafford to Marvin Jones and Golden Tate. Give me a break. This guy's trash. Get him out of here. He sucks. Get anybody else in there.
I would think Matt Patricia would have a little say on, like, well, this is how I want to run my staff.
No, that's why they brought him in, because they knew he doesn't care about offense. He just wants to run defense anyway. So.
Well, that's not true. Matt Patricia came to the Patriots. He was an offensive assistant when he first came to the Patriots.
Yeah, but he's become a defensive-minded coach. It changes. And Jim Bob Cooter sucks, so he's going to be gone after a year. It doesn't matter.
Well, they lost their defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, to the Who Days, so that's gone good for the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, it was a typical press conference. He said, "Oh yeah, blue collar city, great history, lots of blah, blah, blah. Well, I flipped over to listen to the other press conference that was supposed to be happening today in Indianapolis.
Yeah, with Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, that wasn't going on anymore.
He said, "Forget that."
Yeah, the Patriots burned the Colts once again. Why did they do that to him?
To be honest, I think something's going to happen with Bill Belichick here. If it's not before this season, it could be after this season, and they're going to make Josh McDaniels the head coach in New England.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think this is going to be Belichick's last season. I think he's going to retire on his own.
I think he could retire before the combine.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know it yet. I think it's a possibility.
Well, he said today, Belichick said today, obviously what he says to the media, take with a grain of salt. He said his intentions are to come back in 2018 season.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know.
So now the Colts are the only team left without a head coach. So where do you see them going?
The best coach to get is Jim Caldwell. They should bring him back because they suck. They're terrible. And Jim Caldwell is a good enough coach that he can get you, 8-8 every year, even with average talent, which is what he did in Detroit. So,
yeah, but would Indianapolis bring him back?
I mean, who else are you going to hire?
Well, they said their lead candidate right now. I got to look up his name. I can't find it. I can't find his name right now. The special teams coordinator from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh my God, that sounds terrible.
Well, I mean, there are some quality special teams coordinators that get hired to be head coaches, like John Harbaugh.
Who else?
That's the only one I can think of.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because look at his track record. He won that Super Bowl, but that defense was stout. And he hasn't done crap since.
Do you really think it's man, this is what confuses me, and this is what questions me more. Do you think it's that Josh McDaniels didn't want to leave the Patriots, or do you think that Andrew Luck is like not on time, not on schedule, and that franchise is looking to be without Andrew Luck for maybe half another year, maybe another full year?
Well, for the stars with Andrew Luck, the Colts completely botched that surgery, and he should have been playing this year. He played the previous 2 seasons with the injury that he had, and then he got the surgery to correct it, and it was a complete annihilation of his shoulder. So I don't know what's going to happen with that guy. I think his career might be over, to tell you the truth. And with Josh McDaniels, he already left once and went to Denver, and that was a complete debacle. And then he came back, and he's got an easy life right now under Belichick. He doesn't have much to do. He's got the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. If Belichick were to leave, he would have a lot on his plate. But, I mean, if you think about it, Belichick's the general manager in New England. So once Belichick's gone, they're going to have to fill 2 roles. And supposedly they sweetened his deal. They're going to give him more money, not as much as he would have made if he was with the Colts, but they're also going to give him insight into how they're running the Patriots. Belichick's going to spend more time with them on the personnel front and all those other decisions. So he can get a better understanding of that. And I think whenever Belichick steps down, it's going to be Josh McDaniels, the head coach, and the general manager.
Really? Going from an offensive coordinator to back to a head coach with an unproven track record, but going to a head coach and general manager? That's just because that's the Patriot way?
Yeah, but the thing is if you trust somebody, no matter how little experience they have, you'll give them the job.
I do think Robert Kraft has a hand in things. I mean, he gives the distance, but I do think Robert Kraft has a word or two every now and then with Bill Belichick on how to run things. And I'm sure he says
maybe about how to run things, McDaniel. He doesn't make any personnel decisions. He doesn't. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo got traded for a 2nd-round pick. He does not make any personnel decisions, because if he did, he would have been traded to the Browns for the #1 overall pick.
Do you really think the Browns would have given up a number 1 overall for Garoppolo?
Have you seen him play?
I do think one of the early favorites.
He's the best quarterback. He would have been the best quarterback in the free agent class. He's the best. He's a legitimate quarterback. He's good.
I agree. I do agree. I think Garoppolo is going to be so good that like Vegas named 49ers one of the top 5 favorites for the Super Bowl already next year. I don't know if you saw.
I know they're legit. They're legit as hell. Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback. The Patriots could have won the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, even if Tom Brady hadn't played this year. They would have been in the same position.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo is good. I think Kyle Shanahan is good. That's going to be it's going to be good there for a little while in San Francisco. Just got to trust the process. Just trust the process. Trust the process.
I mean, think about it. The 49ers don't have to – they've got a franchise quarterback now for a second-round pick, and you got teams that have spent multiple first-round picks like the Browns, and they haven't found one in 15 years. And they got a gift from Bill Belichick because he likes –
for just a second-round draft pick.
I know, because he likes Kyle Shanahan, and he trusts what he's doing, and he trusted Jimmy Garoppolo because he respects him that much that he wouldn't trade him to the dumpster fire that is the Cleveland Browns.
Trust the process. All right, and AJ's gonna lick his chin and trust the process. I'm about all out of football topics. Is there anything else we didn't talk about? Anything you want to talk about football wise? You go ahead and take a drink of water.
Combine's coming up.
Yeah, the combine.
Yeah,
combine. We got plenty of time to talk about the combine. Anything you're most looking forward to?
With what?
Combine.
No, I'm looking for next season to start. Jesus Louise, we got freaking 7 months without football. This is ridiculous.
Well, today was a big day for college football and college all across the country. It was the National Signing Day. And got into a little bit of a debate with Toledo personality Jordan Strack. And by debate, I mean he tweeted and I tweeted telling him
he didn't respond.
And he did. Well, he liked. That's about it.
Oh.
Is the recruiting process, is signing day, getting 5-star athletes, is it a big deal? For a big example, Michigan has 8 4-stars, 22 3-stars, no 5-stars. Should they panic right now?
No.
There's
been plenty of 5-stars that have flopped. Tom Brady was like a 1-star, and he's the best quarterback of all time. It's all about how you build your program and how you develop those kids and their mindset, because a lot happens to kids when they come from high school to college when they're 17, 18, and by the time they get ready to leave when they're 21, 22. They're completely different people. They have completely different skill sets on and off the football field, and it's all dependent upon how well you coach them and how well you teach them in the classroom about life and protecting themselves and things of that nature.
I think Michigan's laid a groundwork for their defense. Greg Mattison's got a terrific defense back there, and
right. And none of those guys are 5-stars. They haven't been getting 5-stars on defense forever.
Well, Rashawn Gary was a number 1 overall recruit a couple years ago, but I mean, I really don't. Yeah, I think it's not worth panicking about. I think it's worth to look into, maybe worry a little bit that Harbaugh was getting some big dog top time recruits. Now he's not. I don't know whether it's because he's not going out on these recruiting vacation trips or if he's just I don't know. It's worth looking into. I'm not panicking about it.
They'll be fine. The problem is they need a quarterback, and now they've got 2 of them in Ann Arbor. If Shea Patterson can play, that's going to turn them around instantly. So,
still waiting to see if Shea Patterson can play this year. If he does play, it will turn things around. They signed a quarterback today. Whoop-de-doo. They got Brandon Peters and Shea Patterson. If those two, if the battle comes down to those two, it'll be an exciting battle. Do think Patterson would beat him out, but again, it would be an exciting battle to watch those two battle it out.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a battle because Shea Patterson would win. So,
probably more than likely. He also didn't go and sleep with a kicker this year. So is that worrying that he didn't go sleep with a kicker this year, Jim Harbaugh?
That sounds on so.
So Michigan's going to be just fine in the Big Ten.
Yes, the Big Ten sucks.
Well, we thought they'd be fine in the Big Ten this year, but it didn't quite work out
because they didn't have a quarterback.
How'd Miami do in recruiting?
They did all right. They got a couple of 4-stars. They got a 5-star receiver or a 4-star receiver. So I think their class was about the same as Michigan's.
Well, Michigan didn't get any 5. In fact, their only recruit in the top 100 today who verbally committed to Michigan, flipped and signed to Georgia. So they don't have a single person in the top 100. Is even that worth fretting about?
No, we're done talking about Michigan football. Next subject.
No, Michigan football. I tell you what, man. This
Oh
Michigan
my gosh, he didn't even go there. He didn't play there. He's never coached there. I don't want to hear any of this John Gruden nonsense.
Well, then let's address the last rumor that we heard today. Bad recruiting class for the University of Michigan. Is it time for Jim Harbaugh to bail and head back to Indianapolis, as was previously reported by none other than Jace, whatever that stupid guy's name is.
Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about. So
Jason something out of Fox Sports 1. Try to make a big deal. Michigan's going to be fine. It's not time to panic. Everything's fine. I'm out of topics today. Like I said, I didn't really come up with anything today.
Well, we can talk about the Cavs.
Well, as much as I love. You know what we haven't not talked about is Blake Griffin heading to Detroit.
Yes, we did. We talked about it last week.
I can't get enough of it, man. Seeing Blake Griffin in a
Play
jacket
70 games and come tell me what you're going to do. I don't want to
hear the old Detroit Piston basketball logo. I got excited seeing that. Don't tell me you're not. Oh, jeez.
Come on.
The Cavs tanked again. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, they lost to the Magic. They suck. They're booty cheeks.
Oh, but you're going to pull out the old AJ. Well, they're still going to make the playoffs. They're going to handle business in the playoffs, aren't you?
Yep.
Is there a curse with the...
I'm interested to see what they're going to do tomorrow. The trade deadline's tomorrow, and they've got that unprotected pick. And either they're going to trade that unprotected pick to bring in a superstar right now, or LeBron James is going to be playing somewhere else next year. So,
well, they already said he's not. I mean, obviously, take whatever they say with a grain of salt. They said LeBron James isn't going to be traded. Do you think there's any chance of LeBron James leaving tomorrow at the deadline?
No, he's not going to get traded. I'm talking about they're going to bring in another superstar to help this team.
Right, no, I get that.
With that number one pick, or LeBron James is going to walk as a free agent next year and he won't sign with the Cavs.
Interesting. What if they trade the number one overall pick to the free agency in exchange for LeBron James?
You can't. And first of all, it's not even the number one overall pick. It's a protected pick.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
But their time to win is now. They need to get a superstar. They need to get rid of Isaiah Thomas. He sucks. He's terrible. He needs to go. He should be a part of the trade. Get rid of Isaiah Thomas in the number one pick and get whoever the hell you want that you can.
Wow, you want to get rid of Isaiah Thomas already?
He's terrible.
I get that. But now I kind of see why Kyrie Irving wanted out of Cleveland. Seems to be a dumpster fire there. I don't know what's going on when you got the best player in the league and you're like third in the East.
Yeah, and apparently there's a lot of riffraff between LeBron and Dan Gilbert, and apparently none of the players really like Dan Gilbert that much. So,
yeah, but guess who's got the money?
They do. They've got contracts, guaranteed contracts. I mean, LeBron's getting paid. He doesn't care.
Well, Dan Gilbert's going to sell the team, apparently. That's all the rumor we keep hearing, too.
Who's he going to sell it to?
I don't know. Would you want to put a bid together? The JV report will own the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah, that'll go over about as well as 50 Cent trying to buy the Panthers. So,
was it 50 Cent? I thought it was 50 Shades of Grey. I don't remember who tried to buy the
movie. Oh, my God.
I don't remember who tried to buy the Panthers.
We're falling off the rails. That's a fine.
Can I ask you one question about the NBA?
What?
I don't know if you've heard, but I'm actually intrigued in this. The NBA actually filed with the legal courts, or however it works, to have 1% of all gambling related to the NBA go into the NBA revenue. Little surprising move there, but I mean, the future of NBA, or not just NBA in general, but future of sports betting is like, we saw that there's like $2.3 billion illegally off the book sports gambled on the Super Bowl alone. Interesting move to see the NBA try to like hone in on that and get 1% of all bets regarding the NBA.
I don't know how they're going to be able to. I mean, they'll be able to get the super books, but all the under the table stuff they have no control over. They can't get control of it right now. So I don't know how they're going to get 1% of that.
Well, I mean, that's talking like these DraftKings or FanDuel or even Vegas betting, they're looking to get like 1% of all the legal gambling. Now, obviously, they can't get all the under the table stuff. I just thought it was an interesting move to try and hone in on that because that's a huge revenue streamline. And for a league that's trying to bring in as much revenue as they can, putting logos on jerseys, like company logos, they're doing all they can to get revenue. Adam Silver's making bank there. And I think getting the 1% of just all sports gambling is an interesting move. And I think we're going to see other leagues follow suit depending on how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to get richer, so whatever way they can get more money, they're going to do it. So I don't know. I wouldn't be relying on gambling as a part of my business, though.
Do you think it would flop or do you think it would fold over?
No, it's just you can't have a sustained business where you're relying. I mean, it's not that they are relying on it, but I wouldn't want to be. Nobody ever wanted to be associated with gambling. And now they all want the money for it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. No one wants to be associated with it. They just want the easy, like, you're using our league. We'll take 1% of your profits.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Well, that's about our show. AJ, do you have a rant for today's episode? Do you have anything to say about Nick Foles being the worst quarterback in the history of the league as he was hoisting a Lombardi trophy?
No. Blake Bortles sucks, though. Blake Bortles. I mean, this guy, Blake Bortles, let me tell you something. He can't throw a pass if he was in a swimming pool and it had 4 feet deep water and he was throwing it through a window. He sucks. He's the worst. That was terrible, but man, Blake Bortles is garbage.
So is your closing rant today. Bravo for the worst rant in the history of rants.
Blake Bortles.
Let's address all the rest of the sports. Baseball pitchers and catchers report tomorrow.
Who cares?
And hockey, the Penguins beat the Golden Knights last night in what was supposed to be a battle of the conferences. From all of us here with the Quarterback Center Exchange, that's AJ Zalewski. I'm Andy Geierman. If you like the video, go ahead and leave a subscribe, comment, a video, tweet at us. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. More importantly, what you don't like so we can improve it, but more importantly, what we like.
And watch the next video.
It's the videos. Goodbye.
Bye.